Also, our good buddies at PointsBet with the odds to win a major in 2022. There you see a pretty strong list of names. Rahm, Bryson, JT, Louis Oosthuizen, Patrick Reed, and Hideki Matsuyama.
Yeah, those are the notable one-time major winners who could win another in 2022, which got us thinking. As I mentioned, I think of this as the era of the one-time major winner. There are a lot of big names with one major title to this point, and I was just thinking if we could list who we think has the best potential to win a second, not just in 2022, but going forward.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting to watch these players who do win that first major, how their life changes. How do you react to the change of attention, to the money, to the burden of trying to win that second? But I came up with 5 names that are on my list that could potentially add that second major in 2022. I go with Big Jon Rahm. I walked away from Kohler thinking this is the best player in the world, and it is not even close. There's Bryson. He plays a game that's very different, as we know, taking on sight lines and holes in a different way. JT, new caddy on the bag. In Bones, different energy, good experience. Louis Oosthuizen, who's knocking on the door for that second major for going on a decade plus. And Patrick Reed, some of the best hands in the game, fantastic short game. We saw what he did at Augusta a few years back. I think this is a strong, strong list.
Got a lot of names similar on my list. I got Jon Rahm up top, Bryson as well, Louis on the list at 3. You know, Louis's got St. Andrews and Augusta next year. 6 second-place finishes for Louis in his career at major championships. Seems to be knocking on the door loudly.
Yes.
Knocking as loud as you can. JT, 4th on my list. Hasn't played great in major championships outside of the victory at the PGA Championship. And I've got Hideki 5. You know, Reed didn't make my list, but there's a great argument to be made because Patrick Reed, as you mentioned, the great hands, seems like the type of guy that plays well around Augusta National, a couple top 10s in his last 2 starts there at the Masters. When you play well at the Masters, you tend to play well for a long time at the Masters.
And we want to see these players separate themselves and have a year like Jordan Spieth, have a year like a Brooks Koepka, you know, get that second major. We saw what it meant to Dustin Johnson to put on the green jacket as a son of South Carolina. So I want to watch to see who among this pack can kind of break away, because as we just showed, there are a list of fantastic names, World Golf Hall of Famers in many cases, with one major championship, but history, you want to be remembered forever, you got to add a couple.
You know, I mean, what Colin Morikawa's already done in his young career, right? Picks up a second major title, and now you're in a different category. I mean, you just are, because winning one major isn't enough to kind of solidify yourself as a great player. Winning 2 majors, now you're all-timer. I mean, you're starting to join a very, very limited list. And just some names we didn't mention there: Adam Scott, Justin Rose, Sergio Garcia, Shane Lowry. The list goes on and on when you're talking about these great players that any given week things get hot with the putter and they could find themselves in a final pairing or 2. And I mean, that's what's so cool about this list, is it grows and it can shrink down depending on the year.
It's hard to win 1, it's also hard to win 2. So let's find out how we did and bring in our good buddy Jay Croucher, head of trading, of course, at PointsBet. So Jay, listen, I kind of stubbed my toe in the lock of the week, but that's another story. How's our top 5 list looking to you?
I like it, and I like that you guys have Jon Rahm at the top like we do every single week. But, yeah, I think that what Shane said about getting hot with the putter, that's everything. Where when you look at a guy like Hideki Matsuyama, who's plus 650 to win a major, you know, in this coming season, Hideki's someone who the rest of his game outside of the putter has always been great, but it's the putter where he stumbles. But the putter is the one area where anyone can get hot. If you're driving 270 off the tee, you're not going to have a week where you just hit 350 all the time. But if you struggle with the putter, you can have a week where the ball just goes in. And so someone like Hideki, we've seen that if he can get hot, then he can win the Masters. So I think that's something to think about when you're looking at guys to win majors is their weakness the putter? Because that's the weakness that you want when you're trying to win tournaments.
Jay, we presented our list. Very interested in your list, considering you kind of look at it from a different angle.
Yeah, so in terms of the people that bettors have most bet on at PointsBet to win a major, you're looking at the young guns, because people, they want to be a part of the story. They want to be a part of, you know, a guy's first major victory. And so you're looking at Scotty Scheffler at plus 900. My guy, Cam Smith, at plus 900. Will Zalatoris at plus 1,000. You know, young guys who have the upside to win a major, that's who people are looking at, as opposed to, you know, the Dustin Johnsons and the Brooks Koepkas of the world, who have much shorter odds and a little more familiar. People want to be on board that guy's first major win.